Welcome back to Spirit of the Outdoors. We're kind of getting started back into our medicinal plants. I have not done a lot of plant stuff this year yet. A lot been going on, like to fish too much. But I am back here walking around, literally wading in the mud, looking at some plants, looking to see what is growing where. I done found a whole bunch of self-heal. It is growing everywhere. A bunch of Indian pink root. It's all back down in here. This is an area that I have convinced my dad to let grow up so that I can study medicinal plants. It is a good area, has a lot of different varieties in it, and he's real tempted to want to spray, and then people want to bush hog, and you know, they get all excited about cleaning up. And here I am, very different, want to let it grow up so I can study plants. So kind of got this area, and I walk down here and looking and seeing what all I've got, which I have brought a lot of stuff that I really want to have to my yard. And I see cone leaf cut flower over here growing up, and I know it by the leaves. And of course there is some poison hemlock growing all behind me. So when you're out doing this, you do have to be very careful at what you're handling. So I've got a good trail through there that I am walking up and down. And then I have this little creek that I have to cross back and forth to get over here, and we had to put a bunch of broken concrete in it because me crossing it, it was getting to be a bad mud hole, and this was free. But what I am looking for today is skullcap. And right here I have, this is some more Indian pink root. It is Spigelia marylandica. It is in the similar properties, medicinal qualities as to what I'm looking for, which I have already found what I'm looking for back up here. I'm headed back to it. I actually found a good bit of it. There's some more self-heal. But this is skullcap, and what I'm finding here, which I'm in Mississippi, for those of you that are not familiar with that, the Southeast has probably over 30 species. Now, I don't know all the names of all the species. I don't know what they are. And the most common, Scutellaria integrifolia, Scutellaria laterifolia, a couple of more. The reason I mentioned one, the Scutellaria integrifolia is not really the most common, but that is what Picture This app is showing up for me here. So I've got some growing right here, and this, y'all, if you can see, is almost probably 30 something inches tall. It is over 2 foot. Most of them are in the 16, 18 inches, and they're blooming right now. I'm gonna get you some good looks at it. This has a more smooth leaf. These are in the mint family. I'm gonna video some of these couple of plants that I'm standing right here by. I've already videoed some of them, and then we'll talk a little more about them. I've got a book with me, read off some of the medicinal properties, and tell you a little more about it here shortly. Okay, y'all, I have got a small dry bag with me that I found. The smallest bag I had with a strap on it. It just happened to be a dry bag, and I bring some water in my grail with me as I come to, when I'm out walking, because the grail I can replenish depending on how far I have to go, which I'm not going very far today. This is Southeast Medicinal Plants book. This is a very good book. Now, obviously, This is southeast, so this is for my area. All right, so I brought y'all in a little closer where you could see what I am dealing with, and let me find my plant in this book. We are at sarsaparilla, which is one I have recently studied, the saw palmetto shepherd skullcap. Now this one is going to be talking about Scutellaria laterifolia and Scutellaria incarna. Now the reason I'm going to read these properties from a plant that is not precise is they're all very similar. And this particular species there is not a lot of research on. They have encouraged some research. So why am I doing this video? Because I harvested this plant last year and did some testing with it, experimented with it. So I have a little bit of experience with it. Not a whole lot. So y'all, as I'm getting older, I brought my glasses with me because it's getting to where I struggle to read things. Now this book starts off with how to identify. It says parts used, the aerial parts, which is, you know, the foliage up through here. Where and when to wildcraft, and this is a lot of times referred to, y'all, as mad dog skullcap. Maybe just the one species, but most people are going to refer to all skullcap as mad dog skullcap. Medicinal uses is all that I'm interested in reading to you today. Skullcap is highly useful herb that belongs in everyone's apothecary. It is my favorite nervine, both calming and nourishing, making it useful tonic for several different conditions, including anxiety, nerve pain, headaches, and even epilepsy. By calming the nervous system, it seems to reduce pain signaling. So skullcap can be used for many kinds of pain, although it is most specific for nerve pain. It is my first choice for sciatica, spinal pain, or the kind of shooting pain that can indicate nerve pain, usually combined with St. John's wort. It has a long history of being used for ticks, tremors, and even being used in the 19th century for epilepsy. What one might call liver wind in Chinese medicine, because it helps move QI that is jammed up, causing tremors. For the same reason, it can be helpful for migraine headaches. For this use, it is best combined with blue vervain. The combination of nourishing and calming can be perfect for certain kinds of insomnia, especially when people feel worn thin and exhausted, what I call deficiency type insomnia. Understanding the difference between insomnia from excess and from deficiency can be really helpful in treatment, especially for chronic insomnia. Insomnia is mostly treated in Western herbalism as a condition of excess energy in the nervous system, and so sedative herbs are used. But often in chronic insomnia, the person's nervous system is exhausted and depleted, and they might feel too tired to sleep. In this case, valerian and other sedative herbs won't help and might even make things worse. Herbs that nourish the nervous system will often work better. Besides skullcap, I might also think of reishi and a good dose of magnesium. Mimosa bark could also be added if there is an emotional aspect to the insomnia, such as trauma. Finally, it is a great herb for anxiety, either for acute anxiety attacks, though anemone is a stronger medicine here, or as a tonic taken for long term to prevent anxiety. So this plant grows in more damp areas that are prone to be flooded. It is not necessarily a wet foot plant like lobelia is. One of my favorite herbs that I use for anxiety is lobelia cardinalis, the red cardinal flower. And what I am thinking about is I have been having some flare-ups here lately again in my sciatic nerve, which I have a shooting pain that runs down my leg, gets in my lower back, and it's just uncomfortable. It's not like a unbearable pain. And I usually try to pop my back and all this kind of stuff to relieve it. So what I intended to do today is to harvest some of this plant. I'm going to take it home and I'm going to dry it and prepare it for use. I did not harvest any last year because last year was the first time I had found it. I harvested one plant last year to experiment with. I made tea and I experienced I don't know how it was like a flush feeling in like some sweating, but I had really slurred speech. I did a reel on Instagram with this plant and talking, and you could tell that my speech was very slurred. I was not faking any of this. A lot of people think that, you fake things, but I really wasn't doing it for other people. I was doing it as a documentary for myself to have so that I could look back on it. And I'm going to do some more experimenting. Like I said, this is in the mint family. It has a square stem, has opposite leaves, and flowers come out smaller. The main flowering is the top, and it has a helmet-shaped flower at the top. I have took several photos, and I'll add them in there. But for nerve and anxiety, so one of my intentions with this plant is I'm going to mix it with a little bit of wild lettuce for an insomnia aid, and then I'm going to mix it with some lobelia that I have dried, lobelia cardinalis, to make an anti-anxiety medicine. I'm going to use more of the cardinal flower than I do this because I found this. I used one whole plant in a cup of tea, which is, there's not a lot of foliage on these plants, y'all. And it had an effect for an hour or so on my body, so it is a pretty strong plant. Now, I read in some other places that if you're pregnant, it can cause a miscarriage. So if you're pregnant, leave this plant alone. I don't know how sure that is. The old times they used this when people had rabies. They used this exclusively to treat rabies back then in the late 1700s, early 1800s. And so I don't know a lot about the plant. I'm experimenting with the plant. You can find Skullcap in several recipes of herbal medicine. It has been used a good bit for a long period of time. So I just wanted to share it. They use the roots in some of it for different plants. So what I have found is in different books, I find different information. So I'm going to also post up here on the screen a website that I use, and I'll share the link in the description box to this website. Of course, these books are in my Amazon store. All of my medicinal plant books that I use, that I purchased through Amazon, is in my Amazon store link. If you look at it, there's a section of books. So you can find a link to this book there. If you're going to buy it through the link. It helps me a little bit. And that's my reward for teaching some of this stuff, is I buy books and study it. But I encourage you to have books on information. Yeah, I'm just an old country boy out here studying and learning plants, but y'all, I have a great fascination with plants, so I have learned a lot in the last 5 or 6 years about them. I'm still learning. I'm not an expert. I do not know everything, and I'm not a doctor. I'm not trying to help you treat your sicknesses, illness, diseases. I'm just sharing with you some information that the Native Americans used, that the old timers used, and trying to preserve some knowledge that has been lost and help you. And if you want to use it, I encourage you to study it, find out a little more about it, and use it for yourself. But put my book up. I'm gonna put my water bottle back in there. I've got just a grocery bag basically to help keep my plant from. I am not gonna cut the roots out. I want to leave the roots so it can grow again. I think it is a perennial. So I'm gonna break it in half where it fits in my bag, and then I'm gonna take some of this, and I have it growing in several different places. It is not extremely rare here, so. And I don't need a whole lot of it, y'all. Not for the medicine that I am going to make, so. Let's go up here. There's a few more right up here I'm gonna pick. Crows out here behind me that is a wee bit excited. Y'all, I found some of my first chanterelles this year. I'm gonna walk up here to another place that me and Brody always find a lot, see if they are. One of the things some of y'all may or may not know, some of you probably have realized it by now, I love photography. So a lot of what I do out here, I enjoy taking photographs of a lot of plants. I found another one right here, y'all. Look at there. They're growing along these center of this, and the reason I harvest them here is they could very well get run over and destroyed right here anyway. It's kind of a high traffic road for all of us. But I enjoy, like days like today, we have had a good bit of rain. And probably not a large quantity, but it has rained for 2 days on and off. Light sprinkling, rain that we very well needed for the garden. So I come out and I enjoy just walking around and seeing what plants I find. I really did not think that I had skullcap on my property up until last year. And when I found it, I was very excited. So I didn't harvest any. I didn't do a lot of video on it. And I'm trying, y'all, not to redo the same videos over and over and over, but I may go back over some plants that I've already done. So those of you that have been with me for a long time may see some older videos redone, because there's a lot of people that will not go back and dig through the files to to search out older plants, and some of them I covered in with other plants. So we're going to try to do more medicinal plants. But let me explain this. I have to be very careful how I do medicinal plants, y'all. I've already said this in this video. I'm not a doctor. I'm not prescribing you anything for anything. You need to do your own research. Hands down, end of story. I'm trying to just share some knowledge, help you find. The biggest thing I can do is make sure that you're able to identify a plant, because you can get on the internet and you can find a lot of information, y'all. And most all of that information is good information. But I find a lot of false information on the internet, because a lot of people get their information from Facebook, secondhand information from other people. And there is some forums on Facebook has conflicting information about plants. So whatever research you're doing, I use picture this has been the most accurate. I have found it to be incorrect in a few instances, but I have used iNaturalist, Seek, several different apps. Picture this seemed to work the best for me and be the most accurate, and it is free. You have to go up to the top right-hand corner and click cancel every time you turn it on, or else it will try to put you in a free trial and charge you for it. But it's once you figure out, hit cancel up there, and then you can do about what you want to with the app. And the mosquitoes are getting bad. And I didn't spray anything on it, have any mosquito or tick repellent, and I don't see any of my beauty bush around the rub. I could probably find some mint. It will help mitigate the mosquitoes. And right down here where I'm going, they're usually pretty bad. They're trying to get my eyes. But anyway, what I'm trying to get at is be careful what information you take and use from the internet, because y'all, I know we're in the age of everybody wants to Google everything. I use Google imaging, I use Google for images. In other words, I type in whatever plant picture this says that I've found, and then I'll pull up images and see what all images I find. Do they look like my plant? And then I'm pretty sure I found it. So I use it more for identification, because y'all, anybody can get on the internet and type information in there and do a blog and make a post and do a article, and it looks like, hey, this is scientific, guaranteed, and it is not. And this is how a lot of misinformation gets spread, because people say, I found that on the internet. Well, y'all, everything on the internet is not true, okay, and not accurate. So one of the things that I try to do that is a little bit different from most people, I'm not hardly going to fool with very many plants that I have not tested. In other words, whether I needed it or not, I made a tea out of it, or I done something and I found out whether it works or not. Y'all, I am tiptoeing through some underbrush. I'm trying to work my way back over here to where my mushrooms grow. Usually lots of them. And this is usually one of the last places they grow down here. My arms get tired of having to swap my camera hand. But I just want you to be safe. So the reason that I'm telling y'all some of this about I'm not a doctor and I can't prescribe you anything is my friend Mike Reed. If you're not watching Mike Reed Outdoors, he is a wealth of knowledge. Mike Reed preaches the gospel now. But he is a wealth of knowledge on medicinal plants. And he got a strike on his channel, and it led to being the downfall of a channel that had a lot of plant information on it. And I don't even know, I think he may have deleted all the information that was there, all the videos, because somebody just didn't like him and turned it in. And y'all, we can disagree on some things. There's probably some stuff that I like that you don't like. There's probably some stuff I believe that you disagree with. But we can all share some knowledge and love one another and agree on some things. You don't have to like everything about me to learn something about some plants, because I'm out here living in these edge of these woods and studying these plants and experimenting with them. So, I've got a lot of experience there with that kind of stuff. I don't know as much about bugs and reptiles and things like that. I know my basic stuff. I'm more fascinated with plants. So I'm trying to do some videos helping y'all identify some plants, realize, hey, there is some plants this, and I don't try to memorize scientific knowledge and just tell you, hey, this plant does this and this plant does, because it's easy to get confused and cross up two different plants. So I stick to just reading from a book and sometimes a couple of books. So I'm going to push books whenever I'm dealing with medicinal plants and encouraging you to learn medicinal plants. You need to have books. I think books are very important. So I walked through where my mushrooms grow, and I did not see but a few over here. Let me look. Just to give y'all a look-see at where I'm at. It kind of goes uphill right here. So early in the year, I'm going to find my chanterelles more up this hill from down in this lower. You can see these are not actually footpath trails. This is water runs through here when this floods. There is a small creek over here, and it runs water pretty much all the spring. It dries up on over in the summer, late summer into fall. So as I go uphill toward these trees, we usually find some more mushrooms back up through here. And I love chanterelles. Chanterelles, we call them. So if I look up and find a few more, and I did find some way up on the other end of the property, I've already taken some footage of that was in the B-roll. And that is one of the things I love, photography of plants and mushrooms and fungi and all that kind of stuff. You know, I'm just kind of weird like that. So I was looking to see if they were any down here because I wanted to bring Brody back and pick some mushrooms. We've not had any chanterelles this year. Now, I have chanterelles canned. I have pressure canned them. Yeah, it's a thing. You can do that. Most of you already probably knew, but I don't see nothing up here. The ones that I saw back over there when I was talking to y'all on the camera like this, walking, was very, 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 very small. The ones I found up yonder was a lot more larger. So I'm just scouting around looking, ain't seeing nothing. And y'all, I'm gonna show y'all something going on around here. See this wild lettuce plant? It looks funny, don't it? See that right there? Deer. The deer have bit that off. So as I walk through here, all of the wild lettuce that's like way down here in the woods is eat off. I mean, every one of them. Here's some more. I'm gonna pull these up, take them with me. This is the I don't know if you say it spigelia or spigelia. I'm not no expert, y'all, on pronunciation. I am not a college professor of medical botany. I'm old barefooted country boy out here that loves plants. Big difference. So if I butcher a name, just know we talking about the same thing. Surely you smart enough to figure it out, I hope. I'm sure somebody ain't. They'll get on there and correct me, you know, like they did. Afraid somebody won't know what we're talking about, and they may not. You can't never tell. I'll make it fun, I'll tell you that. I'm tiptoeing around mushrooms that I don't know what are. I just know they're mushrooms. The wet log has got several growing on it. So right there where Roscoe's running, this is my mushroom patch. And y'all look right here. I ain't sure what that is, but that mushroom is about 6 inches across the top of that cap. And there's 2 of them right there. I'm not sure what it is. But right here, look at all that. That is turkey tail. And it is faded old turkey tail. Okay, you're starting to see chanterelles. This is my chanterelles right here. And the reason I know it's chanterelles is I pick them here every year, y'all. So I know where to look for them, and I know what to look for, and that is very, very, very small ones. But they'll come up and be thick as a hair on a dog's back. You see that? That is that white specks down in there, very small. That will be chanterelles growing. So, y'all, we pick and plant and walk around barefooted in the woods. If you ain't walked barefooted in the woods, you don't know what you missing. This is the only way to do it, y'all. So I enjoy getting down here and just walking around. Something. There's a lot of... my mind went blank. Give me a second to think. Poison hemlock broke off. It's growing all right here. See it? You got to be careful walking around these trails. I don't like to be rubbing up against it neither. All right, well, anyway, y'all, I done wandered around, took up enough of y'all's time. I'm sure you got other things you need to do, other videos needs watching, other channels that need your support. But I do thank you for stopping and tuning in to Spirit of the Outdoors, one of our plant videos, y'all. And I'm going to try to do a good many more plant videos. I'm looking to see if I see a snake. Usually there's some snakes right up in this area. Me and Roscoe got us a trail up through here. Don't see none. But we thank y'all for watching Spirit of the Outdoors. Remember, the best way to do things is the way you like to do it. We'll see y'all. Y'all have a good one. Y'all, I'm walking along. I'm seeing these tracks. Y'all see that? Y'all know what that is? It's a small dog. From the size of the track, I'm going to say a black and white fast. Probably goes by the name of Roscoe, I'm gonna say. Look at that word. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. You know, I know, because there he is, right there. See, I was right, y'all. I knowed it. Look at them tracks he just left. Look at there. We was on it, y'all. Look, we was on it. What you found? Where's he at? Where's he at, Roscoe? Where's he at, boy? Get him. Where's he at?